with this. Like, hopefully they reel their marketing kind of back in and say, bring it back to the fans and bring it back to the people and be like, we want to make a good game for you guys, not just make a good game because, we think it's good, which obviously wasn't.
I think when it comes to a good game, we're not going to beat this horse much longer. I promise. The bugs were always an issue. It's a tradition now for Battlefield from launch day till probably about 3 to 4 months in, you are guaranteed to have an unfinished game. Some of the bugs are minute. Whether if it came to like trying to revive people and the revive mechanics just didn't work and like you had to like specifically hover yourself over someone in order to do it, all the way to not even being able to put your squad together and keeping your squad together in the main menu screen so you can bring everybody in, which ruins the game because this is truly a squad-based game. So obviously the bugs are a huge issue. And listen, guys, we're not going to beat this over the head. TTK. For those of you who don't know what TTK is, time to kill. Battlefield is notoriously known for having, real life like kills, right? So it's a shoot to kill type of moment, and the game started off really well with the right kill, timing. So a couple bullets kills you, boom, you're done, you move on. That's why there's so many people on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, this is too hard for our regular base. Or not our regular base, our new base. We need to make it much more adaptable for the newest audience. What do we got to do? Let's make sure the time to kill is a little bit heavier, so it takes more bullets. That doesn't make sense. So we're not diving into that. It was just a pain in the ass. And more importantly, choose what you want, right? Okay. Don't go up, down, left, right with that and keep on constantly changing because then you got to change your gameplay every time as a game player. Just fucking stick with it.
Yeah, time to kill I think has been changed 4 times in this game, and it might even be changed a 5th time because I think people are upset again. We haven't played it recently, by the way, but I've heard that they've recently changed it again, and people are upset about it, and they did it again. But yeah, like from the beginning, like I actually remember playing the alpha and the beta and being kind of like, what, the time to kill is very quick, but I like it. It feels good. It feels, like you have to use cover a little bit more. You have to play a little bit more strategically. I enjoyed the TTK as it was in the alpha and beta. And I also liked the attrition system, which was like you didn't have that much ammo. So you had to conserve ammo. You had to strategically run to ammo crates and get ammo or have a supply guy in your squad that was giving you ammo. And I thought that was cool. I actually remember, and I think I recorded it somewhere on my PlayStation or something, but I remember a case where I was fighting a tank by myself, and it was like I had launched all of my Panzerfaust at this tank, and it was like one hit, and I couldn't kill it, and I knew there was an ammo box like somewhere like close to me, and I sprinted across the street, I jumped over a like Jersey barrier type thing, and like dove down as the tank shot at me and missed. I picked up the ammo, reloaded my Panzerfaust, stood up, and I shot the tank and blew it up. And I was like, holy shit, this is so fucking awesome. And I was like pumped. And I was like, man, this is cool. Like I like this attrition system. It's different, And then they released the game and they totally changed it. They made people start with more ammo and all that stuff, which, it wasn't that bad. But then they changed it again and they made it even easier. And I think they had this identity crisis where they were like, all right, like we want to appeal to the hardcore gamer. And then like it came out and the noobs were getting frustrated and they were like, wait a second, don't leave, noobs. Like we will change the TTK so you're not dying all the time and you can like come back and play our game. But they had already left. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and I think that was the problem. They're just total flip flop too often, too many times, not knowing who they're appealing to one person, appealing to the other, not having any direction. Unfortunate, but it's the way it is.
I think one of the big things before we get to final impressions of the game itself, and obviously we're going to end it off with our thoughts on the next Battlefield, is you got a big company, EA, who is, pushing dice to push out a game, and you can feel that in this game. it's unfortunate because, as you launch off and you feel like the game is incomplete, it was rushed, there's misdirection everywhere, because the vision wasn't there. And you start to feel a little bit of big brother really kind of punching little brother in the gut, saying, hey, let's get this right. Because I know DICE can do it. I know DICE can build and execute on a badass game. I think when you have someone else pushing you like that, you're bound to make mistakes, and that's when you start to say, okay, so, unfortunately, what is a low risk on the game, and, how does that affect our profit lines? Which, by the way, the profit lines didn't help them at all in the game. But I think, listen, you got to give DICE credit. They've gone through all of this, but they're also getting pressure from above, and I can understand that from a business perspective. And shitty marketing. And GM from DICE even said the marketing was atrocious. But then again, own it, dude. Like, you own the quality of the game, and the quality is that the quality type of game that you're trying to release? Own it, appreciate it, don't blame it on anybody else. I think is one of the big things.
Yeah, you nailed it again, man. It's exactly what you said. I think EA put pressure on DICE. They're, the bigwigs there are looking at the numbers, they're crunching numbers, they're saying, oh, this game can't take any longer than it is. I mean, Battlefield was released and it needed another 6 months, I think. Easily another 6 months to be completed, and that's not with content and all that other stuff coming out. So, like, they clearly had rushed it. Somebody had told them, put the game out, doesn't matter, do it. That was somebody that's in a boardroom somewhere, not somebody that's working on the game, and they're just saying, get it done. And that's unfortunate. It is the way of the world. It has to happen that way. I mean, I'm sure if they go another 6 months, they might bankrupt the game and not make any money on it, or they're so far in the red that it's bad. It's bad for the game and bad for the thing. So, like, I get it, but at the same time, that needs to be better. That's poor planning. It didn't, that means they didn't plan it correctly. They didn't allow enough time for it. That's on EA. That's not on DICE. Like, I mean, you have to have the right amount of funding to have the schedule right. And this is all done before the game has even started. So, like, this is something that they hopefully aren't going to repeat with Battlefield 6 coming out, and I think that's kind of a good segue into it. And another thing you said was own it, and that's something I haven't seen yet, and that's a little bit disheartening as well, because I see a lot of failures from Battlefield 5, and I still see DICE and EA kind of milling around the whole elephant in the room, which is like, this game sucked. Like, we want you to say, we're not going to get another Battlefield 5 ever again. Like, that's what I want to hear. Like, I want someone to come out and be like, this game sucked. We're going to fix it. We're going to make Battlefield 6 amazing. Not just be like, hey, we're moving on to Battlefield 6. Sorry, you're done with Battlefield 5. Like, don't want to really address it. So, like, that's the one thing that kind of concerns me about Battlefield 6 when we go into that. Like, are we learning from our mistakes? Did we, like, kind of realize where we went wrong? Because you and I do, like, half the other community does. Like, does EA and DICE, do they know that? Are they having meetings right now that are like, hey, like, this is a big list of stuff that we can't do again. It's over here. And if we start doing this stuff, we're going to fail. So let's not do all of these things. Like, that meeting needs to take place, and if it hasn't at EA and DICE, then don't even give me Battlefield 6. I don't even want to fucking play it, to be honest. So I hope that's occurred.
I think with that in Battlefield 6, you got to take a look at the other studios and what they're doing and what's making them successful. Because obviously, releasing a game that doesn't work, a game that doesn't meet the expectations of the gamer, you're becoming more and more inclined to fail on a game like that. It's more present than ever before. Maybe in the past, if you had a shitty game, like, I'm trying to even recollect, it might have been okay. You're like, you dealt with it, and that's fine. But that's the demand for quality is bigger and better than ever before. And you saw that with COD, man. Call of Duty launched a badass game this year. they launched a game that was, it went back to its roots, and it's solid. It's got weight and it's got everything there. You're looking at Last of Us coming out, and Last of Us and Naughty Dog, they're going to launch something that's quality, and they're going to sell the fuck out of that game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then CD Projekt, dude, they're going to launch Cyberpunk, and that game is going to wreck. And CD Projekt is one of those companies that's going to launch quality games over demand, right? They put quality over demand every single time, and hopefully, I've got my hopes because you and I come from that same bloodline of Battlefield enthusiasts. We've been playing the games, all of them since they've been launched, even 5. And we played it a lot, by the way, everybody. We played the game a hell of a lot as a squad. And I'm hoping for 6, they take all that in and they launch a quality game with a great vision, and they're listening to the community. Because otherwise, Battlefield is becoming a distant fog in my eyes after that.
Yeah. I think that's a valid point. And yeah, we did play Battlefield 5 a lot, and there were things I liked about it. Don't get me wrong. There were things I thought they did well. I liked the new revive mechanics where you could revive not just as a medic, but as another player, and it took you longer to do that. I thought that was kind of a cool twist to it. I liked that, and going back and playing Battlefield 4 and 1, that wasn't there, and I was kind of that it could use that. So there were a lot of things that they did right. I thought there were some cool maps in that game as well. So I don't want to hate on it, 110%, but mostly it's hate. But yeah, like you said, these studios are putting out quality stuff. CD Projekt Red is going to be a big name. After The Witcher, that was a great game. I never finished it. It wasn't my type of game. I liked it. It was fun. I admired it. I think Cyberpunk's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a big money maker for them. Obviously Naughty Dog and Call of Duty. What Call of Duty did this year was they just blew it out of the park. We hadn't played a Call of Duty in a really long time, and I have so many hours in that game. It's ridiculous.
I think it's Warfare 2. Warfare 2 was the last time I really played Call of Duty. That was probably the last time I truly invested in it.
Yeah, I played Black Ops after that for a little bit, and then I played Modern Warfare 3 for a very short period of time, and I was like, I don't like this. I can't. It's too much. And I think I played one of those futuristic ones for a day, and I was like, this is hot garbage. I do not want to play this. But yeah, Call of Duty nailed it this year. And Call of Duty and Battlefield, as much as everyone's they're totally different, and they are, I still think they directly compete with one another for a huge share of the market. And it's kind of, I think Battlefield has their tail tucked between their legs right now. When Call of Duty came out with that game and people were like, wow, this is what Call of Duty is, there were a lot of people that jumped that Battlefield ship and went on to Call of Duty and never went back. And it was
absolutely
that was done. And I was one of them. And you were one of them. That was it. I needed a first-person shooter to play and get involved with it. And then as soon as that came out, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I was missing the last year. So, and Call of Duty is releasing another game this year, so we'll see what they do. If they produce another game like that, it's gonna look grim for Battlefield. I mean, thank God they're taking the time to kind of regroup, and they didn't release one this year. I think also with the console generation turnover that's going to occur this year, I think that's a big point in what they did. Hopefully they look back at Battlefield 4, which was released during a console turnover, and that game, as good as that game was and amazing at the end, it took a year for it to get there, and it was an ugly year. It was a lot of, what was it called? I'm drawing a blank on it, but the netcode. The netcode was the big issue on that, man. The net showed. Oh, man.
That showed.
That's what I called it. I was so pissed, man. You just shoot people and they'd kill you, and they wouldn't even be shooting at you. It was so bad.
You guys will learn that's where our squad originated from, was the 4. So, we're going to conclude here today, guys. Thank you all very much for jumping into the Daily Rage Quit discussion, where we chat about different games, especially today, the big fat turd of Battlefield 5. We're hoping for a great return from DICE and EA on 6. Be sure to make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like or dislike, make sure you choose one or the other. And, of course, join into the discussion. Let us know if Battlefield 5 was a turd or not for you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know why it was, and especially why it wasn't. I'd really love to know that. So would Steelman. But, y'all, thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Stay
One
safe.
more thing. Tag anyone you know at DICE and EA and highlight my segment where I talk about if they're actually highlighting the things they did wrong. And just let them know. That's what we want. Just tag them in there, please. Thanks.
Cheers, everybody. Have a good one.